Hello, welcome to Art and Leisure. This is a 30-minute program that tells about the happenings in the arts, culture, tourism, and leisure worlds. My name is Chioma Okpara. Lagos State will be 50 years old next year. Children aged between 8 and 12 have been told to paint or write on the topic Sisi Eko at 50, aging gracefully, or the Susu pancake. What's the event about? The Vision of the Child project is in its 5th edition. Here, adults organize a competition for children. They give them a topic and tell them to either paint or write on it. Last year's theme was The Road to Sambisa. Watch this.
The road to Sambisa is located in the northeastern part of Nigeria, precisely in Borno State. Nigerians woke up to this terror on this fateful day, while Nigerians students watched with shock and dismay as fellow students were whisked into this dark forest. Why have these girls not been found? If these girls were daughters of prominent Nigerians, would they still be wallowing in this terror forest? I totally don't believe so. Come to think of it, how long will Nigerian mothers have to wait for the return of their daughters? How long will Nigerian students have to wait for the return of their fellow students? How long? Oh, how long? This is traumatizing to every sane human being. Come to think of it, what crime did these innocent students commit? Did they commit the crime of trying to get educated? My fellow students, we have a right to be educated, a right to live in freedom, a right to be catered for. So let's do all we can to get these girls out of this dark forest.
Titiloye Michael Tobiloba was one of the winners in the 2015 edition of the Vision of the Child project. The competition had a theme, The Road to Sambisa. Some of the children painted, while some went the literary way.
I wrote an essay because my mom is also an English teacher, so it was easy for me to cope with the essay than the poem.
I chose to write an essay because I thought I would be able to express myself better with this medium. And then all the things I considered when I was writing this essay was the pain and the agony of the Chibok girls and their parents, and what the government has been doing to try and help us to find our Chibok girls.
I decided to write an essay because I know that I don't really have stage fright, and I know that I think they used to call me up in my school to perform or to say poems and all those things. So I decided to write an essay, and I decided to showcase my talent.
First of all, when I heard the theme of the Vision of the Child Season 4, I was dumbstruck because no one would ever expect such a deep and dark topic from a competition like this. So I researched all the things I needed, and I thought that, yes, of course there are going to be a lot of people, so I have to do something to make me stand out. So I decided to write a poem, not a story, because I realized many people would definitely write a story, so I wrote a poem.
2016 edition of the Vision of the Child project has kicked off. Professor Wole Soyinka announced the theme.
The topic is Sisi Eko at 50. And it continued, aging gracefully, or Nasusu pancake.
Students aged between 8 and 12 from 4,000 schools in Lagos State are expected to participate.
What we're doing this year is to reach out to all the educational districts of Lagos. We want to bring it back to their corridor. That look, Badagry has done it before. Bring these leaders out. Nigerian children are brilliant, irrespective of where they are schooling.
Dr. Mrs. Idiat Oluronti Adebule, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, encouraged all the schools in the 57 local government areas of the state to participate. The students have 2 months to prepare, after which judges will select 12 winners from the entries.
We're going to have 6 in the literary section. We're going to have another 6 in the painting section. And we're going to have overall, that is, a boy or a girl who will do excellently in literary and painting category.
Ayomide Akinola is one of the pioneer winners. She says she'll be a doctor, practice for 1 year and abandon it.
My passion is actually fashion designing, and I look up to the likes of Larry Da Silva and Joe Balisa. When I was growing younger, I just said I wanted to study medicine, and from then, I even went to an art class. But my daddy was like, he wanted me to study that medicine, so I was like, let me just study. You don't want to practice? I won't really practice, maybe 1 year or less.
The vision of the Child Project is not how to turn these young ones into artists and writers.
We want a situation where, for instance, Ayomide, who was 11 plus in 2012, now 15 plus in 2016, to go into our training academy. We are leaders. We be taught in this country. If you notice something that is common among all these children, they are their leadership quality that needs to be mentored from now. So that by the time they are 20 and 21, they can actually wake up to lead a team, to lead their community, to lead a country.
Many art patrons have lent their weight behind this initiative.
I think every year there's a validation that this is the type of initiative that must be sustained. And the simple reason is that every year, as the world changes rapidly, the artists are taking over and the engineers are being replaced by machines. These
children are expected to think out of the box. The theme is Sisi Eko at 50, aging gracefully on Nasusu pancake. Welcome back. Sisi Eko at 50, aging gracefully on Nasusu pancake. I'm eagerly waiting to see how children will interpret that. Okay, still on Lagos, is regarded as a state of aquatic splendor. 22% is water and 180 kilometers are coastline. The state has so much to offer in terms of maximum fun. I had a chat with Mr. Folarisha Folarikoka, the Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture. He told me so much that I'd like to share with you, so stick around. From 27th to 31st December 2015, Lagos was agog with activities. One Lagos Fiesta crossover took place in 5 locations, namely Badagry, Ikorodu, Ekpe, Agege, and Babbage.
People within Lagos moved from one location to another location to consume the entertainment. That was transportation. Revenues were generated. Jobs would be created. Why did they move from one location to another location? Was entertainment. They went to consume that entertainment. What was the entertainment? It was a Davido or D'banj or Don Jazzy playing on a stage in a place they would not normally have played.
Mr. Folarisha Folarikoka, the Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, says that entertainment is a tool Lagos has employed to drive tourism in the metropolis. In 5 days, 27 concerts took place in 5 locations.
We asked all the different ethnic groupings, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, and whatever dominant group or whatever group wanted to showcase their culture with art in 5 locations to please come up. So on stage, the same stage that a mega superstar will sing on with the light and microphone, I put, the native cultural dancers. I hope next year, Nollywood will strongly be represented.
Lagosians have been promised a fun-filled year, as no month will be without a cultural activity.
One Lagos Fiesta stays alive all year round. So in January, I think we're going to launch Apapa Amusement Park. In February, we have the Lagos Marathon. I think in March, we've either got Surulere Day or Alimosho Day. We've also asked the local governments to all give us 1 day a year for us to celebrate or create a platform to celebrate their day.
As a land of aquatic splendor, water tourism is now a possibility.
We have very good beaches that we are looking at from Ilashe down towards the Badagry axis. We've got from Lekki, from Oniru to Elegushi, heading towards Akodo, literally from Oniru to Ekpe Fish Market. There are possibilities there that we're looking at. From Ilashe to Badagry, there are possibilities. Water transport has developed tremendously in the last few years, and it's something that we're going to encourage further. We're going to build swimming pools so that as a pastime, as a sport, as entertainment.
At the national level, 500 billion naira has been earmarked for spending in the Ministry of Culture. Each state has been asked to send her best 10 festivals to the ministry.
I have written to him about my 10 festivals. I am waiting for him to approve and fund the 10 festivals. Then that takes care of 10 out of 20 local governments plus the Food and Beverage Festival, the Fashion Festival, the Jazz Festival, the Afrobeat Festival, the Festival of the Drums. That's the one that actually excites me the most. I want to call all the King's drummers from the different regions of Lagos, from the palaces. I want a competition of the drums.
Lagos State does not have its own amphitheater, and one wonders why.
Agege has a stadium, Onikon, Surulere, Alimosho, Ekpe, etc. I know the governor has given instructions for them to be looked at, to be either renovated, upgraded, but ultimately even converted in a manner that they are multi-functional. There is also a plan to build what we call amphitheaters, which is literally like the Roman style, the stage, the cover, the little covering, so that we can have a music show, have a theatrical production. There's a lot of tourism in Lagos, but people just don't define it as tourism. People come from all over Africa to buy goods in Lagos. Do you agree?
Of course.
Good. That is economic tourism. There's religious tourism in Lagos as well. Look at the biggest churches in Africa. They're here. There's medical tourism. Okay, let me flip it over to you this way. If you have a friend coming over from America, where are you going to invite them to?
Lagos is one of the most popular cities in the world. Will her infrastructure take care of the new influx?
Chioma, what I'm trying to do is to use entertainment to drive an industry called tourism, to create jobs that pay taxes. I'm not asking you to come to Lagos and sit down and enjoy festival after festival after festival and not work. Come, consume what we're enjoying in Lagos and go back. Next time, come again and go back.
Welcome back. Lagosians, you've been advised to make relaxation a lifestyle. Work hard, play hard. Talking about hard work, J.D. Okhai Ojeikere, whom we fondly called Pa Ojeikere, was a photographer for 63 years. He passed on in 2014 at the age of 83. A 302-page book on him is out. It is a monograph that should be on every photographer's shelf. Take a look. J.D. Okhai Ojeikere began his photographic career in 1950. This 302-page book highlights the diversity of his practice over a 60-year period.
In this publication, we not only show the works for which he has become internationally known for, which is the hairstyle series, and to a lesser extent, the headgear series. In this book, we also have his architectural series. He actually documented, architecture, quite a lot, in Ibadan, but also in Lagos. Then we show his portraiture, his portrait series, that spans over, 30 years from the, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Even what we've selected, which is just, a fraction of what exists in his archive.
Not only pictures are contained here, there are also texts.
We have a text by Erin Hanley, who looks at, late 19th century, early 20th century photography across West Africa. I think it's really important that, his work is put within the context of what's happening not only in Nigeria, but across the region. And those are some of the ways in which we can begin to develop an art history of photography. We have a very, very insightful text by Ikem Stanley Okoye, who's a professor of art and art history and architectural history and Delaware University in the United States. We also have a text by Antoine Bird, who is a doctoral student in art history at Northwestern University. And I also wrote a text on, his portraits, portraiture and modernity. 7 people worked on this project. The publication consists of the last extensive interview by the artist. The interview was done by Jide Adeniyi-Jones and Don Barber. What's important is that we wanted to make sure that as we begin to develop a history of photography in Nigeria and a history of photography across Africa, that, when he is put side by side with his peers and his contemporaries, one has a wider vision of, or wider perspective of the work beyond, what most of us know about his work. So, the texts are accessible to collectors, to museums, to students, to academics, to historians of photography, to those who are interested in African art and culture and visual culture. I think that, in a sense, it's for the general audience.
It took 5 years for this publication to be out. Bisi Silva knows Okhai Ojeikere very well.
My interaction with him moved from being just professional and, he became a friend. He's much older than me, but he became a friend, a real friend. I'll go to his house, and you couldn't go to his house for 1 hour. I would get there at 10 o'clock, and he'll talk. Then we'll have lunch. His lovely wife will come give us lunch. We'll have lunch, and then he'll doze. I will doze for about half an hour, wake up again, talking again, 6 o'clock. Okhai Ojeikere, I have to go. You want to go? It's too early. It's too early to go. Stay now. I'm like, but it's getting late. He goes, we can make you a bed in the spare room. I'm like, no, I have to go, but I'll be back again very soon. I mean, he was so giving.
Okhai Ojeikere did not see the final edited copy before he passed on 2 years ago. Nevertheless, this book will act as a guide to both accomplished and upcoming photographers. Though a private initiative, Okhai Ojeikere was a national icon. People have responded well to it.
At least over 100 people, have the book around the world. We even had people from Saudi Arabia, from Thailand, from Canada, which was, absolutely wonderful. We did a launch in Lagos, which was, nicely attended. We're really committed to making sure that at least all the countries in Africa, have access, to the Ojeikere publication. And, it's an ongoing project. We've started last year, and, it's already in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in Ghana, Nigeria. We've given it to the University of Port Harcourt. We're going to give it to other universities across Nigeria. We're working with a patron who has supported the project and is making sure that it's available across Africa.
Through this monograph, many today and generations yet to come we know about the exploits of the late icon, J.D. Okhai Ojeikere. Okhai Ojeikere was extremely humble sincere, and he was my friend. We all miss him sorely. Alright, now to a younger artist whose fame has gone beyond our shores. Peju Alatise is a mixed media artist. She paints and sculpts. She's a writer too. I paid her a visit in her studio, and I tell you I had an amazing time with her. Watch this. Art and Leisure met Peju Alatise working on a project which she titled 40 Days of Solitude. She says it's her own way of grieving and also immortalizing her father, who passed on a year ago.
I tried to do a research on where 40 days of mourning comes from, but I know that in most cultures, even biblically in the Quran, because he was a Muslim, the family is given 40 days to mourn, and then friends and family come together again to celebrate the life of the deceased. But during the 40 days, I chose to be by myself. So that's why I call it 40 Days of Solitude. It was a time for me to reflect on his life.
The fabric, the dots, and sculptures have meanings.
You can see the sculpture inside. The red there is symbolic for me, for grief. Not in a negative way, not grief in a negative way, but grief in a way of reflecting of life. And you know, red is a symbol for that life. So it's, and there's a person inside that hole just sitting very quietly, grieving. And then if you notice the patterns that we're working on and painting, they are direleko. Direleko for me is the most traditional of the techniques, with little or no influence from the colonial era. I mean, every pattern, every symbol tells a story in direleko, and it's always about the person making it and their journey in life. And I felt what better textile was there to elaborate on this my 40 days of solitude.
Peju is at her best in the morning hours.
First thing in the morning to 2 p.m.
Music in the background while she works is okay by her.
It's a very welcome distraction. Music helps me calm down.
This is a commissioned piece she's working on.
Unfortunately, I can't show it to you because it needs to be commissioned by someone at the opening. It's a huge piece that is going into a reception for a big building that is being put up in Victoria Island.
Peju Alatise plans to have 2 solo exhibitions this year. Some of the art pieces are ready.
We have the Flying Girls here, which would also be showing in the museum 2016. And we have this work as well. This particular piece you're looking at is a piece called Trickle Down Politics. And I started the piece in 2012. And then doing this work in 2012, it was in reaction to Nigerian policies and the way, I mean, do I need to talk about Nigerian corruption? Every Nigerian knows and understands what Nigerian corruption is. We're in a new dispensation and we're hoping for something better. I'm actually positive about this dispensation.
Her other project focuses on young girls.
Adults might be invited, but it's an exhibition that I'm doing for children. They're the reason why I put the project together. The project is called Flying Girls. It's a project that I'm very passionate about. It addresses the circumstances in which young girls live in Nigeria, and they're not good circumstances. This exhibition is dedicated to those young girls. For me, if the adults are not going to listen, I want to go directly to the children and give them a voice.
Peju Alatise is an accomplished artist. In her studio are some other artists' works.
I'm not in that financial position to collect in the way that I would really love to, but I buy from younger artists that I like and I follow.
She also mentors young people.
Once in a while I invite them to my studio and then we talk about, they ask me questions about the career path that they have chosen, and we have conversations about that, and then I advise them on some things.
Peju Alatise is a full-time studio artist. She's imaginative and has no inhibitions. Welcome back. Well done, Peju Alatise. What gracefully horrible. Well, that has been our program for today. I hope you got value for spending 30 minutes with us. My name is Chioma Okpara. In case you would love to watch this episode again, visit www.artandleisure.com.ng. We encourage you to always leave a comment after watching the program online. By God's grace, same time, same station, God willing, next week, there'll be another edition for you. Until then, love yourself, love Nigeria.